Hi everyone, welcome to Cheltenham Chart episode 6. In today's episode we'll talk about obviously the horses from last week, a dual video that I did just as a complete one-off trial. We'll talk about a comment about Lucky 15s, Lucky 31s by Calvin Glams, and we'll talk about the Welsh National as well. The dual video was with Gary Sieves, and Gary had the software to do it, so we just thought we'd give it a try. It was bit trial and error and maybe talking over each other occasionally when we shouldn't have, but it went okay in the main. There is a possibility of doing a Christmas one if we can find the time when we're both available. We may do one. It will be on Gary's channel, not mine, due to the software. So if you want to see my Christmas views and we do actually do the video, then it'll be on Gary's video channel, YouTube channel. So just keep your eyes out on that. You can either just search for him or subscribe to his channel. On last week, Billaway won at Down Royal. The quest for Cheltenham winners means that Elliott, Malins, etc. now just train fox hunters, cross countries, anything that will get them a Cheltenham winner. Billaway was impressive. He's into 5-1 for the fox hunters, and if you fancy Billaway, then probably 5-1 is better than you're going to get on the day. Of course, you've got to wait 3 months for him to run. He was quite impressive. He probably wasn't fully wound up yet, but he won well. In the Kennel Gate, surprise, surprise, Nicky took his big hope out. That was Dusart, and My Drogo won. A big chasing sort of horse, this one, and not definite to go for the Supreme, but boy, if he did, 20-1 would look quite big. He may be the type of horse that wouldn't win a Supreme, a bit like Sprinter Sakra coming third in the Supreme. He may be that sort of type of horse where he looks good, but in a hurdle race against the absolute top notchers, maybe 1 or 2 might catch him out, but I think he would go there with a decent chance and certainly not a 20-1 chance. I read everywhere that Allard made an impressive chasing debut. Well, I didn't think it was impressive at all. If you look at the last half mile, you'd maybe think he was impressive, but if you looked at the other 2 mile, you wouldn't be thinking he was that impressive at all. His jumping was shocking at times. He'd need to brush it up. I can't see him as a marsh horse at all. I don't think he'd give Invialan much to think about unless he improves jumping. But, his jumping was shocking. So, except the last 3. So, yeah, for me, he's more of an RSA horse, but he'll need to improve his jumping even in an RSA. Yesterday in the long walk, I'll be controversial here. I'm not so sure that Richard Johnson's at the peak of his riding career now. I think he's on the decline. I think Time Hill should have won, and I think Johnson knew that as well. I think that's why the expletives came out after the race. I'm fairly sure he knew he should have won that race. Paisley Park did win it. I still think Time Hill's the better of the horses. That's just my opinion. I know that when there's 2 horses that closely together, that the fans of the other horse are going to just make comments exactly like Benny Deju and Honeysuckle last season. Plenty of people will think that Paisley Park is the better horse and will confirm that. I don't at all. I think Time Hill's the better horse. But, of course, with a younger, hungrier jockey on than Aidan Coleman, I just think that was the difference yesterday myself. The Bob Bolger, another 1-8 shot that got a quarter of his price, cut for Cheltenham for a racecourse gallop with other horses in. He beat absolutely nothing at all, and he's in from 16s to 12s. He did it well, and he's a good horse, but I just can't have horses being clipped for that. If they go into races like the next horse I'm going to talk about, then that's fair enough. But when you're beating absolute rubbish and you're getting cut, well, the bookies are just taking punters for mags, really. Sir Gerhard, on the other hand, did have a real rival, and he tucked him away. His performance was pretty savage, if I'm truthful. and Kilcruit's going to have to go to beat him. We've got a bit of a fight, well, more than a fight in our hands. But you can't be scared of one horse. This is partly what I mean about horses, trainers desperate for winners. Sir Gerhard and Kilcruit should really be hardline by now. But in the quest to try and win a Cheltenham race, both will go to Cheltenham for the bumper, just because their trainers want a winner at the festival, and possibly their owners want a winner at the festival as well. On the oh, my eye catcher, sorry, because yeah, it's a big price for Cheltenham actually. Fakira in the Holy Macaponi race flew up the Navan Straight. Very, very eye-catching for me. He was well back in fifth coming round the final bend, and he stayed on to second. He didn't challenge the winner. The two favourites bombed out, but I think he's an Albert Bartlett type horse. I think another 4 furlongs, I think another mile would suit him, but I think he could be one of these horses that could develop into an Albert Bartlett type, and he's 33 to 1. And I certainly wouldn't put you off having a few quid on him. I did toy with the idea of putting £20 of the bank on him at 33s. So he's only 33s with one firm, that's 365. But I was quite impressed with his performance. He was my eye catcher of the week. On the lucky 15s, lucky 31s, in the main, this was from Calvin. In the main, I only really fancy one horse, possibly at a time. I may fancy one horse for the weekend. I may fancy one horse like this week for Cheltenham. And then 2 weeks' time, I'll fancy another one. So doing lucky 15s and 31s isn't really what I do. But what I would say to you is if you get 2 6-4 winners in a lucky 15 and put the lucky 15 off, you're actually going to make a loss. Whereas if you put 4 singles on those 4 6-4 shots, just say, you'll make a profit with 2 winners. I know that if you get the 4 up, it's mounted into a big difference, but getting 4 winners is extremely difficult, and your chances every time you add an extra leg in decrease dramatically. So that's part of the reason that I don't do them. I will do the odd accumulator just in case I pull off the unthinkable, but in the main, they're bookies' bets. Bookies love taking bets like that because they very, very rarely win. Finally, on to the Welsh National. I fancied 2. I don't have a Potter's Corner sort of type, pretty strong view this year. I do like 2. I like Prime Venture of Evan Williams, who's was 25 to 1 yesterday with Sky, but I haven't checked today if he's still 25. He was only 20s generally. I think he ran a good race last year. I think he's improved, and he's not up much in the weights from last year where he finished 4th. So I was sort of half thinking about leaving this bet till next Monday, but his price is starting to just creep in a little bit. So I'll say that I'm having a few quid on him, and the other one I'm having a few quid on. I feel a bit of a fraud because one of the other videos put him up already, and that was Andrew Blair White put up Dominate Tour. Now he is still available at 25 to 1. Oliver Sherwood's horse has got really good course form. He is one of these horses that races up the pace, and I think that's what you're going to need to do. I think he's got a good chance if he stays the distance. I just didn't like to copy someone else's selection. I think it is a good selection. It was one that I was looking at to put up as my Welsh National selection, and I saw Andrew put it up, and I thought, do I put him on the video now or go with something else? But I just fancy both of them each way would probably give you a return. Whether it will be the return of one of the winners, I don't know. I think both will run well. I wouldn't say I'm going crazy by any stretch of the imagination, but those are the 2 that I would pick out for the Welsh National. So, yeah, I did notice when I was making the video with Gary that I definitely say controversial things compared with other people. who just, you know, give their views on the races, whereas like I'm quite outspoken about what Nicky does. I'm quite outspoken about the fact that, say, I don't really rate Johnson as highly as 5 years ago, and I think, you know, in a top class race you need a jockey who's at the top of his game, and I'm not convinced that Johnson is. And I will sort of say if I think one's been not trying or things like that. So maybe it is better if I do my videos on my own, because at least then I'm not involving other people in my controversial views. Anyway, the video's gone on a little bit longer than I expected. There may be a Christmas video involving me, but it won't be on my own channel. It'll be on Gary Sivs' channel if it is. All it remains for me to say is have a great Christmas. I'll be back to you either Monday or Tuesday next week. Thanks for watching the videos this year, and have a great Christmas. Bye for now.